Come on, you guys. Let's go. Sorry for a very subdued celebration. I'm still not feeling great, hence why the attire is just all about warmth and coziness right now. But obviously, it's nice to see us win a London derby game today against Fulham. It's got my spirits a bit higher today. And I think the man of our performance, listen, it wasn't perfect, but let's keep things real. We know we ain't a perfect team. So sometimes it's okay to focus on those rays of light, those positives that come from games like this. And what were those positives today? Number one, Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, Levi Colwill. I'd say our desire was on point. The way we ended the game, it was very open. There was a lot of header volleyballs happening inside our books. We had to defend many corners and set pieces against Fulham, but you can see the desire was there. We saw a lot of tired legs as the game was ending, but the desire to get that win was evident from every player today. And sometimes in seasons like this, you have to at least celebrate the little small wins. And I think today was nice because, we continue a bit of form now when it comes to securing points at Stamford Bridge. That's always a little small, minute positive we can take at least. And obviously for the final positive, we're seeing the return of guys like Ben Chilwell. Interesting that he played at left wing again, but I think realistically, with the context of the game being about sealing out the win, I'm okay with that. And even better yet, it's great to see young Chukwuemeka. I know he only came on for a few minutes, but to see my guy come on the field near the end, it's nice to know that he should be in contention now to be getting more minutes during games. I've felt for him. I think out of all the injuries this season, his was the most mistimed. Of course, he was playing that Nkunku role very well. And the fact that Pochettino was given a lot of confidence towards a young 18, 19-year-old at the start of the season sums up this guy's quality that he has. And, hopefully with the introduction of Ben and Khan's back in the team, we get a bit of a mini boost now during this month because we need it. We need to come back strong now against Middlesbrough. We need to hopefully get a win against Liverpool. I think it's about time we beat a big club this season, considering how good our performances are against them. And I think if we can play this way in terms of our aptitudes, in terms of the mentality to win the game today, that's the main positive for me. And I mention that because in the technical capacity, listen, I think we all saw it. For all the transitional moments we were making in the second half, we weren't really executing most of them. Times when players should have taken shots earlier, they weren't doing that. Times when the ball should have been released a bit earlier, it wasn't happening. Obviously, maybe not having enough men inside the books at times to convert these crosses that's coming. And just overall, poor execution of moves and plays at times. I thought we made some beautiful transitional moments. One in particular came from Cole Palmer, who was at the heart of everything. And I'll touch upon this guy later on. But when he kick-started that move by the little flick over the top, and then he plays the ball in behind to Malo Gusto, who drives inside the box, and then plays the cut-back cross. You're thinking, I think Broja, had the opportunity at the near post then. These are the moves you have to bury. You know what I mean? And I felt like it's a shame because we made maybe at least 2 or 3 of these moments, which should have been enough to at least get 2 goals in this game. And the fact that the performance suggested that we should have at least got 2 goals minimum, and we didn't get that, does kind of sum up where we are as a team right now. Hence why I'm trying to get a bit more softer in terms of my analysis, because I'm accepting the limits of this team, right? Obviously, lots of injuries, lots of youth, lots of lack of game time between most of these guys at times. I can see why we still make these poor final balls, poor mistakes, and we don't really execute and dominate like we should. But it is what it is. That's how our season is right now. But if you can't execute things on a technical capacity, at least show with your mentality, at least show with your desire and your aptitude on the field that, listen, you are going to be hard to beat. You're going to be determined to win your second balls. You're going to fight for the ball. You're going to win your balls in the air. You're going to cover grounds. You're going to track runs. They're the bare minimums that you want to see, right? And I think we did see that today against Fulham. And after the poor game against Middlesbrough, it was at least good to see this positive part of our game. But hopefully from a technical capacity, things can improve. I think the first half kind of sums up where we still are as a team. Thank God for Cole Palmer. this is probably the best time to talk about my guy, Cole Palmer again. 9 goals in the Premier League this season. Just, brilliant penalty taker. And where would we be without this kid right now? I always say this, but I made that video about him in the summer, my analysis. I was like, this guy is ready to blow. He is ready to blow, and he has taken his opportunity with an absolute aplomb. Because when you have first halves like that, where you are really struggling to find proper solutions, right, to break down the opposition. Like, we only create opportunities when the game opens up. When it's us trying to break down a defense and organize structure, we still can't do that. We can have so many discussions around why. For me, I kind of feel like, listen, I don't see enough proper wide support and overlaps really stretch opposition teams, right? I'm not seeing that enough. I'm not seeing that too often. And I think this is why, we struggle to find solutions, because we end up caring about containing the opposition, right? The wide fullbacks might be a bit more inverted, a wide winger holding the width by themselves, and we're kind of containing the opposition, right? So if we lose the ball and they counter attack, we've contained them in certain positions where, 9, 8 times, 7 times out of 10, we're in a favourable position to win possession back and kickstart a quick transitional moment. I think that's the whole point of why Pochettino sets the team up this way. But I just think that the only L that comes with that, though, is that we don't create the 2v1s out wide, which we should be creating to stretch opposition defences, to drag their shape and their organised structures, left and right. So we can then have guys running into those spaces, splitting them up even more and having more numbers inside the box to attack. And because we don't play that way, because we don't like to have fullback constantly overlapping out wide on the right and on the left hand side, I feel like we can play in towards teams' defensive structures, and then we have these halves. So thank God for Palmer and the moment that really gave us the lead in the game, because without that, I'm worried about what we do in the second half. And for a team like us, getting the first goal is that key, because it opens up the game. And Fulham in the second half, they pushed more men forward, they committed more, and it opened the game up, allowing us to play more transitionally. So it really is key that we get that first goal, and hopefully we can find better solutions now to, create better openings against these organised defences, because this has been our main issue this season, where, listen, we'd be high up that table if not for those silly losses against smaller clubs, because our game to break them down just is non-existent right now. In moments like that, you really rely upon individual brilliance, and Cole Palmer with one of the moves of the game, superb reverse ball into the feet of Raheem Sterling, made that look casual, made that look easy. He single-handedly turned a nothing situation into something, and I'm sure Raheem Sterling was happy that his ex-teammate at Man City found him, because, I thought one of the best things about Sterling's game was his ability to time them runs in behind, right, to really stretch ups, but we're not finding him. So thank God for Cole Palmer, who basically plays a great pass to Sterling, and Sterling, he takes the extra touch inside to fool his man to win the penalty. Superb play from him in that moment. And then Cole Palmer, when he steps up now, you just feel confident. 10 times out of 10, this guy's burying the ball in the back of the net, right? And I just think that with that moment, then on second half, he started to shine even more, right? He was starting to express himself. Like, I love those little skills Cole Palmer does when, he uses the, how do I describe it? Like the spin of the ball in his advantage. So let's say if someone's passed the ball to him with a lot of backspin and he has like one of the yops trying to close him down, like first touch, he'll do like a little stab of the ball to just like change the spin and direction of the ball away from his opponents. And in that second half, I think he did that like 3-4 times to great effect. And it was just great. Like he opens up angles so sick, because when he plays his balls in behind, 8 times out of 10, he plays it with sick weight, and it really just kickstarts so many moves for us. So pray that he's always going to remain fit until this season ends, because I don't know where we'd be without Cole Palmer. And I think without a doubt, he is our signing of the season. And it's exciting to think that there's even more to come from him, because imagine what things could have been like if Palmer's playing alongside Nkunku on the regs, right? Oh, my Lord. I can't believe, like, with this far in the season, we've not even really got glimpses of this, right? But you know, Palmer, there's a lot more to come from this kid. And I think for his first breakthrough season, this is going spectacularly well. And I feel like there's a lot more upside to come from this guy's game. So well done, Cole Palmer. And outside of him, I thought Enzo Fernandez was probably the best player in the game, which says a lot as I'm describing Cole Palmer, right? But I just think that, you know, when you use Enzo Fernandez in a role where he can be the brain of the team, I've said this quite a lot during the early parts of the season, when he's a brain that can drop deep, receive from the defense, when he isn't told to like run into spaces to stretch opposition like he's Mason Mount or something like that, you know, he starts to influence the game. You can start to use the rhythm and that sense he has for the game as well too. And of course, his passing range comes back and helps the team out more. But, you know, Enzo is such a complete guy. You know, maybe some people might have negative opinions of him. If you're going to purely base this game on stats, but the stats won't reveal the whole context of his season and what he brings for us. But in terms of the ball progression, in terms of that individual ability to carry the ball at times, and I just feel like with Enzo, he just has like a great sense of the game. He always knows when to like release the ball and when not to. And I feel like his issue is that maybe sometimes he's a bit too smart for maybe most of the players in this team. It might be sounding a bit too mad. On a few occasions, you know, Conor Gallagher is not trusting his technique at times, and he's not playing it forward when he could, or playing that back heel when he could. You know, it's a safe pass backwards. I think Poch had a go at him for that in the first half. You know, there's times when I'm seeing other players not playing the ball in behind quickly to find Enzo, because Enzo, listen, don't rely upon this guy to be running into spaces all game, but he's not stupid. If the opportunity comes up, he still can do that. Trust his run and find him. And I think he had to go out Levi Colwill too for not playing a pass to him earlier in the first half. So, you know, there's even more to come from Enzo Fernandez. And, you know, today is another reminder of why you have to let this guy receive deeper and trust him to be the brain of the team, because a lot more can come from this guy. And outside of that too, I want to give the final positive to Levi Colwill. I think it's one of his most impressive left-back performances this game. You know, Fulham on a few occasions, they tried to play balls in behind to isolate and find him, but I think he won 9 out of 10 of his challenges. And obviously it's a great reaction after his game against Middlesbrough, where I didn't think he was awful, but 1 or 2 times he was targeted, and that was revealed by Michael Carrick after the game post-match, right? But I think Colwill today showed a lot of adventure. He was very involved in terms of what we were doing in the final third. I think this game, maybe he made the most runs in behind this season. Like, do you guys agree or not? Because I regularly saw Levi Colwill inside the opposition box, closer towards goal, by the byline, looking to run in behinds, and like, let's say it was like a left winger or Ben out wides, they would hold the ball for Colwill to make that run in behind. And I think it was nice to see Colwill showing more adventure. He's still very young, one of the youngest guys in our team at 20 years old, and not like close to 21. He's still got like a few more months until he gets there to 21, but you know, he's a lot more to come from this game. And as he said before, this is a great learning experience for him. It should probably do wonders by the time he's 24, 25, when he'll feel even more competent as a defender, knowing that, okay, I know how to play wide now. I feel confident. If I'm left in that position, I've had the experience of playing there. And even though it is frustrating, maybe it's just why managers do these things too. And you know, it's given me something to think about. I'll hold my hands up. But with Ben returning back and a few others, it'll be interesting to see whether Poch now turns to using Ben at left back and having Colwill playing on the left with Silva on the right hand side. I think right now, Colwill and Silva is probably my first choice defensive duo at the moment. I think I can imagine incredible passes, and I think the team will really benefit from having Ben with his overlaps and his underlaps. But regardless, it was a good reaction after losing to Middlesbrough. It was in London derby, something to play for. You know, players had to show what they're about today. They did that. Of course, it wasn't perfect. Of course, we should have scored more goals. Of course, the technical execution at times, the amount of counter-attacks we flopped was not ideal, but a nice, effective win against Fulham today. And let's hope now we play against Middlesbrough, we beat them at home, and we find ourselves in the Carabao Cup. So my friends, thank you for watching. I'm in EFC. This is Blue Lions TV. I'll see you guys later with some more videos. Cool.